Yeah, I just want to.
Hello, 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 hello. Can everybody hear me? Hello, can everybody hear me? There we go. Right, good afternoon, everybody. It's so lovely to see so many faces here and to know that we are actually celebrating Rod's life. I know he had so many friends, and I don't know them all, but I think Sandy might know them and so forth, and it's so lovely to have you all here. And so I'm going to try and keep this as informal as possible, because I think a lot of us are going to be reading the messages. I think it's a very emotional time for Sandy and Jan, Andrew, Ashley. So just bear with us. But yeah, as I said, I'd like to all welcome you on behalf of the family, particularly here in South Africa, Sandy, Janet, Andrew, and Casey. And yeah, as I said, we're here just to celebrate Rod's life. He touched so many people over the years, and it's wonderful to see how many, all his friends, his family, his colleagues, all gathered here today to remember him. Rod taught us that life was meant to be lived fully. Whether he was on his motorbike, fishing, hunting, or surrounded by friends, he embraced every day with enthusiasm, courage, and a great sense of humor. So what I'm basically going to be doing is I'm going to be reading some of the messages that friends or colleagues have sent. Karen will be reading some of the messages. Karen, where's Karen? Karen will be reading some of the messages from the SA family. Deswin, who is another best friend of Jan's, will be reading some of the messages from the German family. And then Michelle will also be reading some messages. So I'm going to start by just reading some of the messages from colleagues or friends. Can you all hear me, by the way? Is this fine? Okay, good. Jeepers, I don't know who put this on a piece of paper. It's so small. My goodness. Yeah, I have got them on. Okay, so this is from the Commodore at the Yacht Club. For those of you who didn't know, Rod loved the Hermanus Yacht Club and spent many days there. And it reads as follows. It is with sadness that we learnt of the passing of Rod Venables early on Monday morning. Rod has been an active member of the Hermanus Yacht Club for over 18 years, and was always keen to help at events and regattas. Heaven help if he caught you holding a VHF radio by its antenna. Rod will be missed at the Hermanus Yacht Club. He leaves his children, Andrew, Janet, and Sandy. That was from the Commodore. Then from Cedric, who was from PVR. I think this is a colleague or a work colleague, if I'm not mistaken. And it reads as follows. Rod was one of the people that formed my young apprentice days at SA Phillips. He was the general manager at Cape Town branch with people like Dave Parker, Terry Gibbs, Peter Roo, and Tini Botha. What an awesome team we had. Sales meetings was not always the calmest, as the whole building knew when the radio section had their meetings. Telephones were smashed against the walls. Voices were raised among normal speaking levels. Rod steered the team to many successes and achieved targets on a regular basis. I say he is a legend in the way that he managed us to the greater heights in our own individual capacities. I was privileged and honored to have had good conversations and reflections with Rod in the last few months. Condolences to the family, especially Sandy. May his soul rest in peace. Another one is from John Fraser. John Fraser, is that a colleague, work colleague? Where does one start or stop when you talk about Rod? Rod was just a lovable person. He was so part of many of our QD businesses. He was part of our lives till the very end in so many ways. He was someone who nurtured and supported our business's growth. He was a visionary who looked to the future and always had new ideas to help grow his and our businesses. Rod was steady and showed a reliable source of strength to all of us. He was like an anchor to whom we too, he was like an anchor whom we too in good, he was like an anchor who we went to in good and bad times. He was always so supportive, not only to me, but to everybody. Rod was a respected, fatherly figure in the organization and in our lives. My daughter from Scotland said, "It's a sad day." We sisters loved Uncle Rod, as he was always full of fun. He was an adventurous person, full of smiles and laughter at times. Sandy, Andrew, Janet, and family, you lost a loving person that was part of your everyday life. It hurts losing such a lovable person so close to you. Fortunately, we will all have many wonderful memories. We lost a kind, loving friend whom had such an impact on our lives. Rod will be remembered in many ways. I will remember him mostly as the man that did not live by words, but by deeds of kindness. And then finally, from RTS, Dirk Botha. I think that was a work colleague as well. I had the privilege of working with Rod since the 1990s, during his time at QD. Over the years, we shared many laughs and cracked more than a few jokes together. Rod was instrumental in starting the Q&D Cape Town branch and later continued his career with RCW before eventually working alongside his son, Andrew. Whatever role he took on, he approached it with energy, determination, and enthusiasm. He was full of life, a passionate biker, and one hell of a man to work with. Rod was always ready to take on any challenge and never backed away from hard work. His positive attitude and larger-than-life personality left a lasting impression on everyone who had the pleasure of knowing him. On behalf of all of us at RTS, I would like to extend our deepest condolences to Rod's family and loved ones. While we mourn in his passing, we also celebrate the remarkable life he lived and the many memories he leaves behind. Rod, you will be greatly missed, but never forgotten. Rest in peace, my friend. Yeah, so I think from these messages, which are just some of his work colleagues, Rod was a remarkable man. And so with that, I think we're going to go on to, I think it's Des. I just want to check my program quickly. Karen.
Can you all hear me? Is it on? Hi, everybody. I'm Karen. I'm Janet's friend and onto Sandy. And I was trying to figure out how far we went back, but it's somewhere in the 80s. mid-80s, 90s. So now we've given away our age. 90s. I'm going to read Janet's first, so if I break down and cry, it's... Yes, that's right. This is a letter to Daddy. Janet to Daddy. Thank you, Daddy, for loving and supporting the girls and I all these years. You were like a father to my girls who knew you were always there for them. You fixed the toilet, spoilt our pets, and were always there to make us feel safe. When your support and with your support and encouragement, I was able to live my dream of having my own business. Being able to do what I love every day was the biggest blessing. You were still riding a motorbike 2 years ago when you were 82. That's something incredible. You rode faster than all your younger friends on your bike and earned the name Lightning Rod. I was always happy that you got to go on so many adventures and spend time at the Hermanus Yacht Club, which you loved so much. The yacht club was your happy place, and you had the chance to go there quite a few times in the last year, which was wonderful. I'm so sad that you never got to see your cabin, but I know Andrew will love being there and will always remember you. I had such incredible friendships, and your friends meant the world to you, as you did to them. You were an incredible entrepreneur and businessman, and I'm proud to have inherited many of your traits, including your messiness and your obsession with new hobbies and interests. That sounds like Janet. My best memories are fishing with you on the rocks in Betty's Bay and on the Neisner Lagoon. I would cry every time a beautiful fish got caught, and you would release most of them just for me. Oh. There's a few pages, so bear with me. I also treasured the memories of our holidays, camping in Nyanda in Rustenburg. You were always laughing, happy, and making new cocktails. I was privileged to have you living with me until the end. Just having you downstairs was always comforting. You potted around the garden in your Wendy house, in your terrible blue work clothes. You were a constant present in our lives. It's very sad not to have you doing that anymore. You never once complained about the pain or how frustrated you must have been. Not once. You never let us fuss over you, even though we tried, and you were fiercely independent until the very end. I miss you every time I walk into the grandpa flat, but I know you are at peace now, riding your bike at 180 kilometers per hour with no helmet, fishing everywhere, everything with cable ties, feeding all the cats warm milk, and drinking without ever getting a hangover. Thank you, Steve and Joe, for always looking after him and being such incredible friends. And to Wally and Hetty, too, for being there for Dad. Thank you, Casey, for being such an incredible nurse. Casey, where are you? Hello, my girl. For being such an incredible nurse, for giving him pedicures, and for always cheering him up. Thank you, Mommy, Sandy, for loving Daddy through thick and thin. There's a very special place in heaven for you. I have to agree with that. You really were the angel. You did so much for him. He would make up excuses for you not to come and see him every day because he wanted to see you. And even though you were exhausted from all these chores, you never said no. Thank you for everyone for coming here today, and especially to all my incredible friends and John for all your love and support. And that's from Janet. Thank you, Janet. Next up is a letter from Andrew. It's good to see you, Andrew. It's been a while. Andrew to Daddy. Thank you so much for being here today. Looking out at the room and seeing so many faces is incredibly comforting, but it is not surprising. If I had to choose just one phrase to sum up my dad's entire existence, it would be the hardest working man I've ever met. Officially, he only retired for 2 weeks before his passing. Wow. He woke up every day, put on his shoes, and went to work to provide for our family. I could count on one hand how many times my dad was sick. Even if he didn't feel good, he would get up and go to work. He was never scared of any challenge and would always be the first to help where he could. I realize how fortunate I was to have him as a father. There are no words to express his influence on my life. My dad didn't know how to do anything halfway. If you asked him for a hand, he didn't just give you a hand, he gave you his whole heart, his time, his energy, and his absolute dedication. He's taught me through his actions that the true measure of a man is how much of himself he gives away to others. I have so many fond memories of my dad, from teaching me how to fish and how to be a man, and I only hope to be half the man he was. He wanted me to travel the world and experience a life before settling down, for which I'm forever grateful. He has given me a company to run and great opportunities to pursue the passions I have. He never wanted to be fussed over or to be the center of attention, but he was always willing to help someone more than he would help himself. But now it is time to rest. Dad, it's time for you to go on all those fishing trips, go on all those rides and hunts as you want. No more permission is needed. You have earned it, Dad. I love you and never forget you as long as you will be living in my heart, and I will never forget you. Thank you, Dad. I miss you already. Over and out, Andrew. Okay. Ashley is not here with us today, but she's online. Hi, Ash. We miss you. Ashley to Grandpa. No one is perfect, but my grandpa was exactly one of the best. When I turned 18, I always thought I would be the one moving into Granny's flat. Instead, Grandpa moved in. Looking back, having him there was a blessing I never knew I needed. He was always around to help, even if he usually delivered that help in his own trademark sarcastic way. You truly knew who Grandpa was when things went wrong. When I got into my car crash, I panicked and I couldn't even explain to him what road I was on. It didn't matter to him. He came to get me straight away, stepped in and helped me navigate everything that followed. He was just there when it counted. I'm going to hold on to the specific everyday moments we shared, like riding the funny DIY electric bike he built for us back in Amanus, or watching his daily routine of feeding Rory's cat milk every single morning. Is that all the cat got? He showed his care through those quiet, steady actions. Because of my work on the ships, I didn't get to spend as much time with him these last few years as I would have, but I never doubted how he felt. I knew he loved me, and I knew he was genuinely happy for me and proud of what I was doing with my life. I will always be incredibly grateful for our last day together. It was simple and perfect. Granny and I sitting with you, eating sushi and watching videos of my next ship. You even let Atlas, that's the dog, spend time with us, which he normally never does when you are sitting on the couch. I'm going to love you forever, Grandpa. Please look after Maddie and Luna now that you're all together again. Thanks so much, Ashley. This one's from Casey to Grandpa. After he passed away, I thought I would have to fight the family for the blue hat, as I was under the assumption that they wanted it as much as I did. To me, this was the symbol of who Grandpa was. I remember that blue hat. It's hideous, yes. It's absolutely. Most of my memories of my grandpa were of him wearing the blue. So every time I use the skills and tools that he gave, I will always remember how much he loved me, how much I loved him. I want to thank you, Grandpa, for teaching me the life skills and for being my grandpa. We're almost there. So when I see that shot where Grandpa is, okay, I'm not crying. Okay, this is the last one from Debbie in New Zealand. Uncle Rod, this one I've to put my glasses on, guys. Uncle Rod, you taught us many family brides in the 1980s how to bride the perfect steak. I'll always remember what you said: hot coals and 2 minutes aside. To this day, we still apply this rule for a perfect medium rare steak. Uncle Rod's rule, not sure who's in charge of brides in heaven, but I know you will oversee operations up there. See you and Gran later. Cross, cross, cross. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Karen.
I don't actually know.
Thank you, Karen. That was from the immediate family here in South Africa. And we're now going to ask Desmond just to come and read some of the letters from the family over in Germany.
Janet's giving me water because she says it's a lot to read. I need light. Reading some messages from Jan's family in Germany. It's her brother and the grandchildren and her brother's wife. All right. Sorry, I need light. Okay. This is from Gary to Dad. We had such a short 4 years together, during when sorry, the light's bad. Can I move?
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, it's the age. No, I've got it. There we go. No, it's perfect. Dad, who were you to me? We had such a short 4 years together, during which I'm afraid to say I did my best at convincing you with innocent but childish exuberance that I was a naughty little bugger. My childhood memories came tumbling out. As I searched the archives, it seemed I was always in trouble. What happened to all those opportunities to impress? Do you remember rushing home, responding to a panicked phone call from Mum, and finding Salisbury Fire Brigade hastily putting out the neighbour's hedge, which had burnt to the ground? It had been his pride and joy, 20 years of careful growth. I had burnt it to the ground in 5 minutes. You tried hard to placate him with a new hedge. I had tried to impress you with my dexterity with a matchbox. Remember, Dad, remember the time little Gran had left me in the car, full of groceries on a blistering hot day. My inquisitive, busy mind set me thinking when I discovered how hot the plastic cover to the back window was, and spying eggs amongst the groceries. I decided then and there to fry eggs on this cover. However, it wasn't hot enough to do this before little Gran returned and drove home. The eggs slid dutifully over the back of the car as we drove over the hills and the valleys of Mizzou Citrus Estate. What a mess it was. You had to scrub those cracks and crannies of those leather seats really hard, as I recall. But it was all done in the name of science, Dad. I'm sure you understand. What about the loaded elephant gun being left in the lounge and me pulling the trigger just to see how it worked? We were all deafened by the noise and the power of that huge bullet blasting its way through the lounge windows, crossing the open field and ricocheting off the neighbor's wall and returning neatly through both windows of the car. Dad, it was a Davy this time, who had left that loaded elephant gun for my research. No one was killed, and it was a neat move. Sure, he's quite naughty, eh? Sure. It also wasn't my fault that you left me while attending a meeting for what seemed like hours, so I urgently needed the toilet. I tried so hard, but I needed to go very, very badly. I was only 4. To my mortification, I could not face using the parking space. I used the beautiful leather upholstery of your most beloved Jaguar. I shrugged quietly to your urgent requests of the smell in the car, not wanting to attract attention, you understand. Poor Sandy was asked to clean your seats when you stood dry heaving and horrified by the back door. I had tried to impress you. Why didn't Sandy strangle me when I belligerently said that your marriage wouldn't work, and I locked you out of the house when my friend and I, at my instigation, were on the beach investigating the state of the local boobies? I was a chip off the old block. In this case, wasn't I, Dad? I didn't impress you with a fish, though, as big as my leg, which I thought when you had sent me fishing so that you and Sandy could have some alone time. You didn't believe my yells until I came up the beach, pulling the heavy bugger, flopping behind me. At last, I impressed you. I saw it, Dad, in your eyes. Small guy, big fish. I had impressed my dad. I hope now you're back with all the buddies, like Davy, the selfish sod, who had deserted you so early. I imagine you, Dad, driving your motorbikes, not the junky Harley Davidson, with wind in your hair again and stopping to fish all day if you want. Dad, we salute you, your loving son, Gary. No, I'm fine. I think I need some. No, I don't want you. All right, this is from Andrea. It's Gary's wife. Yes. First, I want to say how truly sorry I am that I didn't have the chance to spend more time with Rod. The distance was too great to just drop in for a quick visit. We were raising a family and running a business in Germany while he was committed to his business in South Africa. I'm deeply grateful that we were able to see each other more often and get to know one another better in recent years, and so happy that we got to spend some time together last November. I first met Rod in October 1992 during our first vacation in South Africa. I was 26 years old and completely intimidated by the situation. And my father-in-law, whom I unfortunately couldn't understand. My school English simply wasn't good enough. I'm sure he thought I was a bit dim, not exactly the brightest bulb in the chandelier. Several more vacations followed, and the better my English became, the better we got along. We shared a similar sense of humor, liked the same authors, thanks Rod for recommending Dion Mayo to me, had similar tastes in wine, and shared many other little things that brought us closer together, especially in these last few years. Dear Rod, I would have loved nothing more to spend more time with you, but I'm convinced that we'll see each other again someday. You live in my heart and my memories, your daughter-in-law, Andrea. And then from the grandkids, Lolly to Grandpa. Dear Grandpa, even though South Africa and Germany were far apart, and I don't have as many memories of you as I wish to today, the few I have are all the more precious. I remember how you wanted to introduce me to your favorite hobby, fishing. We sat together on the pier, waiting for a fish to finally bite. I no longer remember everything you told me back then, but I do remember your face, how happy you were, and how proud I was when I finally took the bait. This is how I'll remember you, as someone with your very own way of being. Not always easy, but always warm-hearted, who loved to laugh, especially at your own cheeky jokes. And that sense of humor has stayed with us, a part of our lives, even in your great-grandchildren. The fact that you made the journey to us in 2023, after the birth of my son, means a great deal to me and my family. Thank you for these memories. You'll be missed. Your grandson, Lolly. Jackie to Opa. Dear Opa, I hope you are doing well wherever you are now. I hope you can continue all your adventures and finally make all those crazy ideas of yours come true. I will always remember you as the man who invented the Peter Pan syndrome. A little bit crazy, full of ideas, and always ready for the next adventure. Lots of love, Jackie. Love that. And then Philippe to Opa, my crazy Opa from South Africa. It's a bit crazy, really. We haven't been able to share nearly as many moments together as others might have with their grandparents. And yet, the influence you've had on my life is astonishingly great. Many memories of you have remained vivid to this day. There are countless moments when I would describe as formative and enriching. I could tell you about all the first times I was lucky enough to experience with you as a boy, about fishing, golf, or motorcycling, about day drinking with brie and homemade schnapps, about your passion for knives or your insatiable thirst for freedom. We could talk about the many things I experienced with you and I learned from you, but all of that is my story, my memories, stories in which you live on as the funny, fun-loving, loving Opa. I've inherited far more from you than just my questionable sense of humor. Take care, and if there's something after this, then we'll meet there. Until then, you live on in the stories, memories, and moments you've left behind. So, see you later, Opa, your grandson, Philippe. Then I must ask you to play the grandchildren's message.
Rod stands for R, ready for anything. He was the kind of man who faced life with a spirit of adventure, always up for whatever came next. Whether it was a new challenge or an unexpected journey, Rod never backed down.
Rod stands for O. One more joke. He always had a funny story or a cheeky grin ready, even if we only saw him a few times. We remember his laughter and how it made everyone around him laugh too. Rod stands for dear, deeply loved. We may have been far away, but we felt him close. He's part of us, in the stories we heard, in the family we belong to, and in the adventures still ahead of us.
Great Grandpa Rod, we only had a little time with you, but you left a big impression in our hearts. We are proud to be part of your story. With love from Germany.
Thank you, all of those in Germany. I'm now going to call on Michelle, who's going to read a few messages from friends. The last.
Okay, now the friends seem to have a common thread here, which I'm sure you'll pick up when you read it. So this one's from Jeremy Rickson. One memory I have of Rod was when he was in customs and he had to attend something at Gillsby Distillery with Dave Acker. Rod would acquire some alcohol which was labeled IA, which meant, in capital letters, instant arseholes. He used to give me a bottle or two, and it was true to its name, mixed with Coke, and it didn't take long. Lots of love, and I hope Rod has a good farewell. Till we meet again on the other side. This one's from his friend Alistair. My friendship with Rod grew through a shared passion for any motorized two-wheelers. Bikers never seem to grow old, in our own eyes. Who would have thought that a few years ago we have partied through the night, still living for the moment? Rod will, in my eyes, always be remembered as a delight. Always there for you, but rarely without a side comment suggesting you should have thought ahead. In my eyes, he was a legend, and will always be remembered as one. Our sincere condolences to his family and friends. Rodney James Venables. This is from John and Patty. It seems we have known Rod forever. He has always been a man for all seasons and an adventurous, up for a challenge at any time. He loved being one of the boys and always had a story to tell, especially after one of those many far eastern trips he used to undertake for business and pleasure. He loved the outdoors and especially the many motorcycle trips he used to undertake with his pals. We will miss him at the yacht club with his smiles and positive outlook on life. Rod, and apparently this friend called him Dad. Time is one of the most precious things known to man. I would like to thank you for all your time spent with me. We went hunting, 4x4ing, fishing, camping, motorcycling, and trips abroad. We shared Singer beers and also the odd Jägermeister. You had an amazing sense of humor and vocabulary. You taught me a lot about the radio game. We laughed so much about so many things. I am so glad I could visit you in hospital to say goodbye. I learned so much from you about so many things. I am working up country, so I'm missing this memorial. I'm going to miss you a lot. Love you, Dad. Joe. This one's nice and big. This is from Durban Memories from Basil and Helen. This one's long, but it's bold. Our sincere condolences to Sandy, Janet, Andrew, Ashley, Casey, and the family. We're so sorry we can't be with you in person to celebrate Rod's life, but we'll be watching the live stream and reminiscing. Probably laughing and crying in equal measure, definitely raising a glass. Basil was best man at Rod and Sandy's wedding on the 18th of October, 1969 in Durban. They had recently moved down from Rhodesia and moved into a flat behind the Blue Waters Hotel in Durban, prime territory for mischief. Back then, Rod and Basil were very well behaved, of course. So well behaved, they needed a nominated driver. Thank you, Sandy, for keeping the wheels and the boys steering in the right direction. Rod and Sandy later moved to a house on the bluff, where we enjoyed many evenings together, braaiing, playing darts, and much laughter, more than likely keeping the neighbors awake. Sandy will remember the old MacDonald dance, which we used to do, only on request, I might add, along with the little noddy joke. Sandy's cousin stopped talking to her after that particular night. Hope you have reconciled. We also remember leaving your place early one morning after a great party and Basil scraping the side of our car against a wall. Despite me warning him, he was adamant that there was no wall when we arrived. To this day, Basil still maintains that wall must have been built whilst we were there, and Rod agreed. We got married and were transferred to Johannesburg, buying a house in Freeway Park in Boksburg, and Rod and Sandy moved in just around the corner, much to our delight. Rod and Basil brewed their own beer, which had to be drunk quickly before the bottle tops popped off. Their excuse. We moved back to Durban, and they moved to Cape Town, eventually settling in Durbanville. I suppose you loved Durban so much that Durbanville was the closest they could get in the Cape. Shortly after arriving, they were living along the beachfront and had their caravan parked on the street. One of those famous Cape winds came up and blew it over several cars. A complete write-off. A good start. When Rod came to Durban for business, Sandy often joined him. They would stay with us and always took us out to dinner. And obviously, we all enjoyed a good catch-up. Likewise, when we visited Cape Town, we always stayed with them. Rod was passionate about his biking and did many trips around the country with his mates. I'm sure his biking mates have many stories to share about them. We both bought ABBA camper vans, but sadly, we never got the chance to travel together with them. Maybe that's a trip waiting for us on the other side. We will miss our chats, our laughs, and our get-togethers. Rest in peace, dear Rod. You lived a full life and left us with great memories. Cheers, our friend. May you rest in peace. Lots of love, Helen and Basil. And that is that.
Thank you, Michelle. And I know it's been lots of messages and, from the family and friends and so forth. Is there anybody else that feels they would like to say something? You're welcome to stand up and come and stand here.
My wife, Marge, and myself were introduced to Rod a few years ago. Unfortunately, we weren't involved in his earlier life here in the country. But Rod and Sandy were neighbors to Les Hagedorn. I think Les moved out probably 25 years ago, somewhere around there. Sandy will bear me up. And we were fortunate enough to be introduced to them. And from there on, became not only biker buddies, but good friends throughout the years. I like to think that maybe what I am going to reflect on echoes some of the thoughts of those old biker friends of his that are no longer with us and those that aren't able to be here. But we remember Rod as a jovial person, as I think most of you do remember him by. Memories stem from all of our trips, starting off in the earlier days. When I say earlier days, 25 plus odd years ago, when Rod, at the drop of a hat, used to join us up on our Oudtshoorn trips. Even before that, there were probably 5 of us older toppies. I was the younger old fart, but Les, I think, was the older one. Les is 88 now. He's still around with us, but unfortunately wasn't able to attend. Trips up to Graafrenet. We went to Graafrenet, the 4 of us. It was Brent Williams, Rod, myself, Erwin Bauer, unfortunately no longer with us. Great times. And those trips were also punctuated by additional trips through Mossel Bay, Hartenbos. We hired a house there and spent a couple nice long weekends up Hartenbos Way. And then later on, joining up with a bigger group that we had going, with Johan Jennis, Peter McGiven, and a few of the other old bikers that joined us right up until not all that long ago, until Rod was unable to ride anymore. But we always remember Rod. I mean, even his non-humorous stories always terminated with a raucous laugh, very infectious, and we all ended up laughing. I mean, Rod was such a jovial person, and seemed like to us that nothing got him down, and very infectious indeed. So from those memories, I think we cherish, and we miss Rod sorely for those times that we had, and the memories will stay with us forever. So just an appreciation for the years that we did spend with Rod, and I think I'd just like to mention to the family that we will remember Rod for years to come. And thanks, Rod, wherever you are, and rest in peace.
Anybody else? Okay, I'm going. Kylie? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask Kylie then, if you don't mind, just ending in prayer, and then I'll wrap things up after that.
I'm also reading my prayer. Shall we just bow our heads as we give a word of thanks? Dear Lord, we thank you for the gift of Rod's life. We thank you for the love he shared with his family and friends, and for the memories that will continue to live on in our hearts. We thank you for the provision and legacy that Rod has left behind for his family, his children and his grandchildren and his great-grandchildren. The shock and sadness of Rod's absence are felt by them all. We thank you for the strength, courage, and resilience he showed in his journey, especially during his recent time of illness. And we ask now that you surround this family, both here in South Africa, Janet, Sandy, Andrew, Casey, and Ashley, and abroad in Germany, Gary and your family and extended family. We ask you now that you surround them with your comfort and strength in the days and months that lie ahead. May they find peace in knowing that Rod's suffering has ended. And we entrust Rod now into your eternal and abundant mercy. Help us to honor Rod's memory by cherishing one another, by living with kindness towards each other, and by always holding dear the gift of family and friends. May your light shine into this time of sadness and bring hope and healing. In your name, amen.
Okay, so I think we're coming to the end of things. I just want to make sure, has everybody got something to drink? If you haven't, get a glass of water or something like that. And I just want to, in closing, then say, Rod, we will miss you, and we are grateful for the years we shared with you and the memories you gave us. Today, we celebrate a life well lived, a man well loved, and a legacy that will continue through your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Thanks for coming today, everybody. And so I'd just like to, say thank you again. And I think Sandy, Janet, Ashley, he's not here, she's over there, I think watching, Andrew, Casey, they would like to thank you as well. We appreciate it. And so now I'd like you just to raise a glass to Rod. I think there's a song that should be played now, if I'm not mistaken. Just waiting for Jan to get the song sorted. And so to Rod. Thank you, Rod, for the times that you shared.
When you're perfect in every way, I can't wait to look in the mirror, 'cause I get better looking each day. To know me is to love me. I must be a hell of a man. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble, but I'm doing the best that I can.
Okay, that brings it to an end. If you would like to just mull around, the bar is still there. Help yourself to some drinks and so on. I think there's still some food left, and we continue this conversation. Thank you.
There were days I walked in shadow, with a heavy heart and pain, searching for a reason, chasing hope in falling rain. But a light broke through the silence, and I heard the Savior say, lift your eyes up to the heavens, your name is there to stay. Oh, rejoice, rejoice, your name is written high in the book of life above. By the mercy of the sky, no fear can steal your promise, no sorrow take that day. Your soul belongs to heaven, and nothing can erase. I've stumbled in the darkness, I've doubted, I've been blind, but grace kept on pursuing with a love I couldn't find. Now I walk with peace unshaken, through the valley still unknown, 'cause my name is with the angels, and I'll never walk alone. Oh, rejoice, rejoice, your name is written high in the book of life above. By the mercy of the sky, no fear can steal your promise, Let your praises rise and fly. Your name is carved in heaven, in the Lamb's own book on high. Let the trumpet sound with gladness. Let the earth and heaven sing. Your name is written forever with the Savior Christ the King. Rejoice, rejoice, lift your heart and voice, for the Father knows your name, and the heavens do rejoice. No pain, no grave, no shadow can steal what He has done. Your name is written in heaven by the blood of the Son. There were days I walked in shadow, with a heavy heart and pain, searching for a reason, chasing hope in falling rain. But a light broke through the silence, and I heard the Savior say, lift your eyes up to the heavens. Your name is there to stay. Oh, rejoice, rejoice, your name is written high in the book of life above. By the mercy of the sky, no fear can steal your promise. No sorrow take that day. Your soul belongs to heaven, and nothing can erase. I've stumbled in the darkness, I've doubted, I've been blind, but grace kept on pursuing with a love I couldn't find. Now I walk with peace unshaken, through the valley still unknown, 'cause my name is with the angels, and I'll never walk alone. Oh, rejoice, rejoice, your name is written high in the book of life above. By the mercy of the sky, no fear can steal your Let your praises rise and fly. Your name is carved in heaven, in the Lamb's own book on high. Let the trumpet sound with gladness. Let the earth and heaven sing. Your name is written forever with the Savior Christ the King.